Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to look at this small portulacaria afra lilliput. Again, I've mentioned it before in a couple videos, but if you're not familiar with the lilliput, it's the same as a normal portulacaria afra, but it's just got really tiny leaves. You can see how small the leaves are on it, and even some of the ones that have grown big are still much smaller than a normal portulacaria. But anyway, this design on this one, I originally put some wire on here and kind of gave it a, spin it around so you can kind of see it, kind of a corkscrew twist and bend to the trunk, just trying to experiment with something. But over time, it's kind of fallen forward in the pot. So it's tipped forward just with the height and the weight on the top. And then, so if I tilt it back a little bit, you can kind of see, because when it's tilted forward, this piece in here looks pretty horizontal. You know, when this trunk comes up and twists, all this is on the same plane. And that wasn't my intent. If I tilt it back a little bit, which is kind of the original planting style, the trunk has more of that corkscrew look to where there's separation in this plane. But like I said, over time, it's just kind of been on the bench growing, got top heavy, tilted forward, and this bin here may have compressed a little bit just because of the weight of the top of it, and the wire wasn't quite strong enough. And so I think today I'm just going to remove the wire, kind of see where it's at, because I do have a little bit starting to bite into the trunk here. So I'm going to go ahead and take the wire off, see what the tree looks like, maybe rewire it, put some new wire on, maybe reposition it a little bit and see if I can, end up with something that I'm happy with. So first of all, I don't normally like unwiring portulacaria, especially when the branches are tiny, just because I don't want to take a chance on breaking them. But I'm going to try it. But if it proves a little bit too difficult, I will probably just go ahead and snip the wire, which I'm already running into an issue here with this small branch in the back. And these pieces of wire are so small, so I don't know that it's really beneficial that I try to salvage it, because sometimes when the wire is really long where I can reuse it, I do like unwinding the wire so I can reuse it, but we'll see how this goes. So far it's cooperating a little bit, but up here I've got it kind of doubled over. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and snip it there, because I'm starting to get into this other piece and it's moving those branches around. Like I said, I don't want to take a chance on breaking a branch. You can get those off. Yep. So I think that got it removed from there. And then this big piece of wire goes down into the, let's go ahead and get these rocks out of the way. Had those in there just to help stabilize the tree, but it still fell forward. So I may have to reposition that. I'm just going to go ahead and snap this one off, or snip it off. And then we'll see how floppy the tree gets when I get all this wire off. sometimes, you know, I've got quite a few of these portulacaria and cuttings that I'm growing, so I'll do something like this every so often. I'll experiment with some different styles. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. So. You can tell the wire was really, it was supporting it some, because it's really wanting to droop down now without the wire on there. Okay, I think I have it all off. Go ahead and get the pieces out of here so they don't get buried. Okay. All right, let's see what we're left with. So if I can get this to, another piece of wire down there. Let's see if I can get this tree to stand up straight. So I think what I'll do is, and sometimes instead of repotting it, to reposition it, I'm going to lift this up and see if I can kind of pry it up a little bit at the bottom, and then kind of nestle some of the soil back down. And I'll show you a little visual here of kind of what I'm doing. So that helped a little bit. Now it's leaning a little bit this way. So I'm going to lift up this side. Kind of get some of that soil down into the root ball. I may have to put a little bit more soil in it. I'll do that here in a minute. Yeah, so that kind of straightened it up. So really what I'm doing, if you just kind of think of this rock as the whole root base. So when I stick my chopstick in here, I'm actually lifting the root base up some, and then when I'm pushing the chopstick down in the soil, I'm refilling this air gap that I created when I propped it, pried up the root base. So the soil is falling down into this void. And then you can see how it has fallen down, because now I've got, some divots here in the front to where the soils kind of fell down and nestled under the root ball. So that's kind of how I reposition some trees without doing a full repot. You can kind of do that, and then you can tell it's really straightened it up, and it tilted it back some to where it was leaning forward. So this isn't quite as flat as it was. Still not sure it's really where I want it to be. I think ideally I'd like it to have a little more upward movement like that, but I'll have to put some more wire on to get that accomplished. Because yeah, if you lift that up without nestling new soil down in there, you could create the air pockets and cause the roots to dry out, which isn't good. So now that we have it repositioned, yeah, you can see here where some of that wire was kind of biting in. I've got that little divot in the trunk, but that'll heal up. And I don't mind a few areas like this. It just adds interest to the trunk, as long as it's not, really consistent to where it looks like a candy cane stripe all the way up the tree or something. But that one little divot doesn't bother me too much. let's see. So next, I think I might go ahead and prune some of these branches back just to reduce some of the weight on them. And I can rewire that too at some point. Still got that forward lean, but I think a lot of that's just due to the top being heavy. I might try to see if I can lift it up and move it back even more. Yeah, there we go. That worked. Like I said, I'll fill this area in here with some more soil after I get done. I want it to lean a little bit to the right. So lift that up a little bit. Get some of the soil down underneath there. There we go. A nice little lean there. And we'll trim this right side branch up a little bit. There we go. Prune this one back. This branch here, it's I think I might go back a little shorter on this one. I think we'll get rid of this whole branch here, just because it's a bar branch right there. Get rid of that, and then just kind of use some of these other branches to fill that in. It is standing up a little better now since I took some of that weight off. I'm not sure what I want to do with this one over here. Just kind of designing on the fly here. Just take some of these little shoots off so I can see the shape of the branches and end up wiring that one up. So I'm going to take these back. Okay. Actually, I'm thinking I might, since I've got it leaning that way, I'd probably be okay shortening this one up and just kind of let it, everything kind of being on this side. bit shorter. This one here. I don't think I want this branch coming straight out to the front there. This one's still pointing down. Get rid of some of that. Yeah, not too bad. Shaped up quite nicely, and I don't know that I'm going to need to really put much wire on it since I got rid of the weight. Could bring that branch up a little more horizontal, I guess, but not really needed. And I was wanting to bring this one up, but it's really not too bad. It's amazing how they just really spring back up once you get some of that weight off of them. Yeah, I'm kind of liking the way this is. And I think when I do repot it, I'll probably move it over to the right a little bit more. So maybe it's, you know, standing maybe something like that. And then have more of the weight on this left side, kind of like it is now, but it doesn't look too shabby. And I really like the interest in the trunk, the movement and everything. So just take some of these back just a little bit more. And let those fill back in. Take this back just a little bit more. So I've got this new branch here starting growing up, so it'll kind of continue that movement, and we'll let that grow back out. It'll start growing up to fill that in. Take some of these leaves off up here. Yeah, not bad. Just needs to thicken in, fill in some, but I think the bones are kind of there. That could come down a little bit, but we can let that happen over time. Yeah. Happy with the way this turned out. Just going to clean up some of these leaves that have dropped down in here, so when I freshen up the soil, I won't be burying any of these leaves. Just keep the soil healthy. Kind of glad I didn't have to put new wire on it. That way I won't have to watch it as close. Just let it continue to grow through the winter here. Like I said, I'll fill that soil back in. I just have this little tag, by the way, in there marking the front of the tree. Yeah, it's a nice little curvy tree now. Okay, so I think with that, we'll call this one done. I'll give you a quick spin around. There's the front. There's the left side. There's the back, right side, and back to the front. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.